Hey guys, in today's episode, it is week 5. We're rolling right into week 5, or maybe limping right into week 5, depending on who you are. But today, guys, we've got news and notes. We've got Thursday night football preview. And of course, we've got our hit its and quit its, our starts and sits for week 5. It's bye week starting this week, guys. You're going to need to hear this episode. Don't forget, please follow us on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, we're everywhere, guys. Frankly Fantasy Football, and make sure you sub up on YouTube. Frankly Fantasy Football, let's go! All right. Welcome to the show. This is the Frankly Fantasy Football Podcast. We are your hosts, Frankie and Johnny. Brother, did you make it through week 5? My body's still laying there on the ground bleeding. How you doing?
John, I think I'm laying right next to you, dude. I don't know if you can see me or not because your eyes might be a little bit bloodied up, but I'm telling you, I'm laying right next to you, man. I mean, come on. Is it going to stop? Is the bloodbath going to stop?
It's not. I just don't think it is. This is one of the craziest starts to the NFL season I have ever seen. Everything I thought was going to happen didn't really happen. I went into it going, is this going to be, week 1 was a liar. Week 2 was a crazy bitch. Week 3 was hold my beer. Week 4, fucking Jekyll and Hyde, man. It is Jekyll and Hyde. This is one thing, but this is another thing. Look at the Monday night games. You had 2 Monday night games going on. This is the epitome of how this week went. It was Jekyll and Hyde. One game, super high scoring. What happened with the other game?
Oh, it was poop. It was
dog shit.
Poop.
Oh, I mean, that's what it was. Flipping through both games and going, this is exactly how this week was. It was high highs on one side and just the lowest of lows on the other side. It's absolutely insane, man. Crazy.
I mean, just to see, first off, love 2 Monday night games as well. Love that.
But I do too.
Just to see the difference in play, man, to your point, you got Tyler Huntley, who definitely we all expected more out of. And then you got Mason Rudolph, who stepped in for Will Levis. I mean, just a shit show. And then meanwhile, you have Jared Goff going crazy and Geno Smith going for almost 400 yards. To your point, tale of two tapes.
I agree, man. We'll do a few takeaways here. But first, guys, don't forget, follow us on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Frankly Fantasy Football, Twitter, Frankly Fantasy F, and don't forget to sub up on YouTube, guys. YouTube's been going crazy. Watch the videos. It's fantastic. Frankly Fantasy Football. All right, let's get a few of these takeaways. I mean, let's talk a little bit about what happened. You talked about Jared Goff. First of all, perfect goddamn game. How about this?
Perfect
game. As a Browns fan, I've never seen anything like this. I just wish we'd have a quarterback for one game do something like this. 18 for 18, Frankie. Didn't miss a goddamn pass. 292, 3 tutties, 0 interceptions.
Crazy.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. What were some of the big takeaways in your Jekyll and Hyde week, Frank? There was some weird shit.
John, for me, it was King Henry still king. Still king. 199 yards, man. I mean, we're talking he's 1 yard away from another 200-yard game. It's just, dude, he is unbelievable. And it'll be interesting to see how things, continue to move forward with Derrick Henry, man, with Keaton Mitchell coming back off PUP, with Justice Hill. Also, Justice Hill, give him some fucking props too. Looked phenomenal from a receiving perspective. So, I mean, but dude, Baltimore Ravens, long story short, just have an absolute treasure trove of talent at the running back position, man. They really do.
They're going to use it. I mean, it's clear what they're doing. They're going back to their basics. It hurts Zay Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Andrews is completely non-existent. They're running 12 and 13 personnel, and everybody's blocking. That's just what's happening right now. And they're running the ball because it works. Why wouldn't it? So you're going to have to temper your expectations, I think, on Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews moving forward,
Mm-hmm.
The running backs, I think Justice Hill is becoming very, very flexible very quickly. And if they've got bad matchups, they're going up against a team that they're going to roll. I think you're going to see a ton of Justice Hill. So I think in good matchups like that, terrible run defenses, run funnel defenses, I think you're going to be able to start Justice Hill on occasion here. All right, what about Denver, man? What do we do with this team? Their defense, I think, might be awesome.
They might be awesome. they legitimately might be sweet. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just their quarterback had like negative yards for like the first half, and then literally he threw a dime Hail Mary. It wasn't an actual Hail Mary, but he threw it up, and Courtland Sutton came down with it, and it was the only touchdown that Denver threw. I mean, dude, for them to even have had a shot, yes, it was pouring down rain, and yes, it was crazy, but dude, their defense had to hold up. And John, Breece Hall looked didn't even was he even playing? I mean, it didn't even look like it. So yeah, man. Shout out to Broncos, Mile High, man. Their D is ready. Their D's real.
Everybody's saying start Breece Hall, start Braylon Allen. They're going to run all over this Denver defense. The Denver defense is actually good, guys. You're going to have to temper your expectations. You can't just throw guys out there because you think it's a shit defense. It's not. The offense needs work, of course.
Definitely.
But Sean Payton, he's coaching his way through. I mean, you can literally feel these games, how he's just coaching his way through because they just lack talent on the offensive side. But hey, kudos to the Broncos, man. I was wrong there too.
Kudos.
Hey, you know what? While we're admitting we're wrong, I need to apologize to somebody. Okay.
Oh.
It's the wide receiver one on the year, Frankie. I need to apologize because it's glaringly obvious that I fucked up. Okay. So everybody out there, I know one of the biggest clips we had that went viral. 200,000 views, was me saying there is no fucking way I'm taking Nico Collins in round 3 in the draft. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Okay. There's 200 guys on this ADP list we're looking at. I got one wrong, guys. Okay. It's a big one. I know, but I was wrong. Nico, I'm sorry. You're an alpha. You're incredible. I can't believe what you're doing out there. Keep doing it. I'm sorry I didn't draft you. Okay.
John, to your credit, though, I do want to state this. Heading into the season, right, when you have Stephon Diggs come in, when we saw the synergy that Tank Dell and CJ Stroud had last year, and then you layer in now a guy coming out of the backfield with Joe Mixon, who's brand new, who definitely was getting serious target share out of the backfield, and then you have Dalton Schultz. It wasn't, again, just to be crystal clear, to have your back a little bit, John, is that it wasn't that you and I didn't like Nico Collins. It was the value at the second round pick with all of these other things that have occurred on that team. I was with you. I personally also didn't think that Nico Collins would bring back that second round value. Now, dude, I might be drafting him in the first round next year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As things stand right now, he's a top 5 pick for sure.
I mean, shit,
especially with CMC gone. I mean, yeah. Oh God, Jesus Christ. Tyreek Hill. Let's talk a little bit about the Dolphins. I mean, while we're on the subject here, what can we do with Tyreek Hill? Anything? As I'm a Tyreek Hill owner in one of our leagues, he was my first round pick. I was picked 3 or 4, something like that. Went with Tyreek Hill. What do we do, Frankie? I'm asking for a friend. What advice can you give my friend to do with Tyreek Hill?
Get your tissues. Get your tissues, because you're going to be crying all night, man, all day, all week. I mean, dude, it sucks.
You can't trade him, right?
You can't trade him because, guys, you cannot trade Tyreek Hill right now because he's not going to return the value that he absolutely deserves. Guys, Tyreek Hill literally, actually, not even messing around, should have had 3 touchdowns on Monday night. He actually should have had 3 touchdowns, and the quarterback can't get him the ball. Here's what I think is going to happen. I really think, John, that it's either Huntley is going to progress and is going to see some sort of improvement. Like, he was a Pro Bowl, and I say Pro Bowl very, very, in quotes. Yeah, it wasn't really a Pro Bowler, but he was technically a Pro Bowler, and I think that he has that in him. I could see them trading for another QB, bringing in somebody else. Maybe they sign a Ryan Tannehill, maybe something along those lines, just to make them competitive, because of right now, dude, they're on a trajectory of shit. And so for me, man, Tyreek Hill, you got to sit and wait, because he is open. It's not like he's not open. It's not like he's not, demanding the ball, because he's still getting the target. It just sucks. It sucks that the quarterback can't get him the ball.
It does. And I know Huntley's been on the team for 10 days, literally. 2 weeks. Yeah. I mean, seriously, that's not an exaggeration. So I know that'll take a little time, but man, he's killing me right now. He's killing everybody right now. All right. It's a little time to get to the news, baby. Let's do it.
News and notes.
Okay, before we get to the news, guys, I want to announce our sponsor. The news here is brought to you today by BetStamp and Sign Up Expert. This is an opportunity for you to join some of me and Frankie's favorite sports books. Get the best odds and the new user offers. Guys, it's beautiful. You sign up for a new sports book that you don't have, place a $20 bet, you're going to get a little something back. And guess what? You're going to help out the podcast as well. So if you're ready to take your sports betting to the next level, show some love for the Frankly Fantasy Football brand, I highly recommend you set signing up for the next sports book through my Sign Up Expert link. It's signupexpert.com/frankly. You'll see it in the description as well. All right, Frankie, let's get going here on the news. All right, it wasn't a bloodbath, but it's no bueno for sure, man. No bueno. Let's just start first. All right, I need the bell. Give me the bell. Hate bringing that out every week, but Rashee Rice, Frankie, carted off the field with a knee injury. Looked really bad. Everything that came out from the team afterwards from Andy Reid, it was, we don't know for sure, but it's no good. What are you hearing about this? Because I'm not finding anything on Rashee Rice right now. This is Tuesday. We're recording this to drop Wednesday morning, so maybe something will come out, but he's done for the season. It's an ACL, right?
John, nobody is so tight-lipped right now. Like they do confirm, or they have confirmed, should I say, that he did have a MRI on Monday, but they are keeping it super close to the vest. It did come out though on Pat McAfee's show, man. Just, again, it's Tuesday here, so it came out on Tuesday that it might not be as major as what they're expecting, but they do need to wait and see how the swelling is before they can actually make a definitive statement as to how long this is going to be, what the actual problem is, so on and so forth. So I don't know, man. Maybe Pat, man, love you, dude. Maybe you're giving us Rashee Rice owners a little bit of something to hope. But man, I don't know. It's tough.
I think Pat McAfee's in my situation. He's probably heavily invested in Rashee Rice like I am. So he's hoping for the best because we haven't heard. It doesn't look good, guys. I'm planning that he's going to be gone for the season, and I'm heavily invested in Rashee Rice. Really, really rough. Let's take this and slide right into this interesting rumor that popped up today. The Raiders are interested in looking at offers for Davante Adams. Not coincidental that it is right after all I heard on Sunday and Monday on the talk shows was the Chiefs need to explore free agency. They need to look at trades. They need to make some offers. Ooh, all of a sudden they're like, hey guys, we got a little shiny object right here for you. What do you feel about that? That's interesting, man. What have you heard about that?
I've heard the same shit, John. I've heard the same shit, man. And I'm sitting here and I'm like just geeking out because the reality is, man, is that the Chiefs need a superstar to go three-peat. They need a receiver one, right? You still have Xavier Worthy. Yes, you have Travis Kelce. But dude, they went and got Hollywood Brown. Unfortunately, he got injured. He's on IR. He will be pretty much season ending. And then now Rashee Rice, just devastating. And so for me, man, they have to make a move. And right now there's a lot of chatter around the potential of Amari Cooper, the potential of Davante Adams. And so for me, man, what's crazy though about the Davante stuff is that there's reports that Antonio Pierce, the head coach, liked a post about Davante or about the Chiefs. And help me out, John. It was something along the lines of Davante being traded. Is that accurate, or not going to be a Raider or a Raiders fan playing further? Something along those lines.
Isn't it funny that what makes news now is just somebody liking a post? You see it with Trump all the time. It's like, well, he liked this post. He clearly thinks that, redneck aliens are stealing dogs, like all this crazy. It's like he liked the post. Maybe he thought it was funny. It's not like a policy decision here, but it's so funny. It could be absolutely nothing. And maybe he's trolling everybody. But man, it's a real possibility. Yeah. For the Chiefs to three-peat, they're 4-0 right now. They're Patrick Mahomes is not even throwing up crazy numbers and they're winning games. They need an alpha to be able to do that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, man. But I do like the Amari Cooper play too. I mean, let's talk about this. Browns are how many games away from unloading some of these contracts and looking at getting draft picks for next year? How many games are we looking at here, Frank, until the Browns end up doing that?
John, I would honestly say a couple more weeks, if I'm being honest with you. If we drop Washington and then Bengals, and then now you have, you're heading into the meat and potatoes of your schedule, I mean, John, I would say by week 8, week 9, we could, if things don't turn around, I mean, we could see Myles Garrett being gone for a couple picks. We could see Denzel Ward. We could certainly see Amari Cooper, right, and a few others. So, yeah, it's going to be crazy with the NFL landscape to see what's going to happen in these next few weeks.
I think Amari Cooper's calling the Chiefs. You could tell he doesn't want to be on the field right now, man. He is just a miserable, miserable sack of shit on that field. And I don't blame him. It's terrible. It's a terrible situation.
Well, and especially like if you think about it, the Browns kind of did him like kind of dirty. I mean, I get that it's business is business, but like you were being floated out there as the top trade candidate for how long? And then now you're a part of a package for Brandon Ayuk. Now the Browns want to give Ayuk the huge package or the huge payment, all this other shit. And so imagine how Amari feels when he wanted to get the extension, didn't get it. Now he's coming in. He has the most drops in the NFL. I think he has 6 or 7 in the NFL this year so far. So yeah, man, I think that this all plays into the problem that was that offseason with Brandon Ayuk now.
It's like your girlfriend telling you that, she's going to cheat on you and she wants another guy and all this stuff. And then she's like, just kidding, JK, I love you. I love you. I was just kidding. I think that's all Amari is. He's like, fuck you.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah, I'd feel the same way, man. I get it. All right, let's get back into the news here. Okay, this episode of the CMC saga continues. Christian McCaffrey, now the news is coming out that he's dealing with Achilles tendonitis in both legs, Frank.
Nice. He's just evening it out. he just felt bad.
Do you think that was a new one, or do you think they've known about this? Do you think it's like, oh shit, it's in both legs, man?
Wow,
did you guys know this?
Is that my other leg hurt too? Oh my God. How about that? No, they fucking knew, and they had all the fantasy managers draft him at 1 overall. That's exactly what
assholes. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Christian Watson, wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, has a high ankle sprain. He could land on the IR, so keep an eye on that. We'll talk a little bit about the Green Bay Packers a little bit later and those receivers. All right, let's get to Indianapolis here. Jonathan Taylor, running back for the Colts, has a high ankle sprain. Now, normally I always tell you guys, low is good, high is bad. High is typically a month to 6 weeks. They're saying it's a mild ankle sprain and that he may play. The quote was, he's okay. Okay, well, that's interesting. Monitor that this week, guys. Make sure Trey Sermon, if he's on your waiver wire, pick him up. He is the clear backup. He's already gotten some play this year. Make sure you get him. But monitor Jonathan Taylor this week. Also monitor on the Colts. We've got Anthony Richardson, man. What a crazy, crazy game for him. They were actually playing well. Anthony Richardson took a hard shot right in the hip. Big body, runs all the time. This stuff's going to happen. Got a hip pointer. Right now, he's day to day. It doesn't seem like it's a serious injury at all. It's just more of a pain tolerance. He came back in the game. He tried to play. He slid again. Obviously, it hurt. The way he slid right on the hip did not help. But keep an eye on him. But I will say, and we'll talk about it a little later, I have a feeling as well, Joe Flacco coming in is going to be nice if that's the case. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes here. All right, good news here. Joe Mixon should be back this week. Everything's looking good for that. Yep, and they need him, man. Cam Akers is not Joe Mixon, and that is very, very obvious in the way that he's performing and the way that they're using him. He should be back. He was close last week. He practiced on Friday, thought he might be able to go. They wanted to give him one more week to heal up. I think that was a great decision. He should be good to go this week. So that's good news. Malik Neighbors, man, just tearing it up. I love this guy. Great game out of him. Again, double-digit targets and catches. He is in concussion protocol. He got blasted and has a concussion. Now, because of the Thursday game is when he played, 10 days to heal. It's possible. It's typically, what'd you say, Frank? About 8 days?
8 days usually is the NFL protocol for concussion.
Yeah, so keep an eye on him, you guys. This could be huge. Having him in this week would be great. He could potentially play. So monitor that. Maybe the Fridays with Frankie that we always end up doing here. Maybe we'll have some information on that. All right, Raheem Mostert, running back for the Miami Dolphins, should be good to go this week after missing with a chest injury. He was almost ready to play last night. Looks like he should be good to go next week. Nick Chubb, running back for the Brownies, baby.
Here we go.
Let's start getting that. You feel that chubby coming on? Huh? You getting a little...
I see the Dark Knight coming.
His practice window is now open. And what they do with that is you get 21 days and he has to be active in 21 days or he's basically lost for the season. I don't even know what they do. What do they say? Throw him away? I don't know what happens after that. But yeah, so we're looking at the next few weeks. He starts practice Wednesday today. And we'll see how things go, but should be getting some Nick Chubb back. All right, now the practice window is not open for Jonathan Brooks for week 5. He's still in, quote, the final stages of getting ready to come back. So I was excited. I've got a lot of Jonathan Brooks on my IR waiting for him to come back with the turnaround with Andy Dalton taking over and this team playing much, much better than they have. The way Chuba's been playing, I want Jonathan Brooks running the ball right now. I want to see what that looks like, right? Gonna have to wait a few more weeks, guys. So we'll keep you updated on that. All right, give you a few updates on a couple of guys here. Puka Nacua looking at another month before returning. This one's great. According to Jay Glazer, Cooper Kupp, wide receiver for the Rams, looking at a week 7 return. So 2 more weeks, guys. 2 weeks, and we can have Cooper Kupp back. That would be fantastic. Tank Dell, wide receiver for the Houston Texans, still day-to-day with a ribs injury, so monitor that. Ribs are difficult. It's more of a pain tolerance thing, so watch if he practices Friday and see what happens there. Khalil Shakir, Frankie, your start of the week last week. One of your starts. Yeah. Wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, left the game with an ankle injury, came back in. We talked about this. A lot of guys do that. You're playing on adrenaline. You hurt your ankle. You can play again, and then after the game, it swells up and becomes an issue. He did finish. Monitor his practice this week. We're going to have to see how he feels on that. Check back on Friday and see if he's good to go here. Taysom Hill, another one. 2 touchdowns out of Taysom Hill. Anybody start him this week? Anybody? No, you got the wrong week, guys. You didn't start him this week.
Damn it.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to start him this week either, guys. He scores 2 touchdowns, and then he leaves the game with an abdomen injury, a different abdomen injury than what he had. They're checking to see. They're unsure right now if ribs are broken. If ribs are broken, he's going to be out a little bit, maybe 2 weeks or so. But we don't know yet. You're going to have to follow up on that. All right, last bit of notes here, Frankie. We've got bye weeks this week, baby.
Whoa.
The bye, as if it wasn't bad enough, guys. Let's throw a little wrinkle in there with some bye. Hey, you know what? I know you've been decimated with injuries. I know it's been weird. I know these teams aren't doing what you thought they would do. I want you to be without like 2 to 3 starters this week and see what you do, motherfuckers.
God, I'm so happy. I just love when my bye week is week 5. It's so fun.
Oh, is this your big bye week?
This one and week 14, which we'll be talking about it come week 14. But yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah. All right. Well, this week on a bye, guys, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles. We've got the Los Angeles Chargers. We've got the Detroit Lions, who just went apeshit. And we've got the Tennessee Titans, man. A lot of fantasy guys going to be out this week. So, my God, play those waiver wires, see what you can do on some trades. Listen to the podcast, and maybe you can fill in some guys here. Also, don't forget this week, guys, we've got a Sunday morning game in London. Hello. You sound like you're from London. We got the Jets and the Vikings in London this week, guys. Frankie, the Jets, real quick. Let's talk about this. Are you freaking out about these guys? Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, everything okay? You're okay?
Guys, don't freak out. I mean, the game that they played against the Broncos, number one, again, got to give flowers where flowers are due. Broncos defense played well. Secondly, it was literally a torrential downpour, actually torrentially downpouring. So no, man, I think that Garrett Wilson, his target share has been phenomenal. Yes, he's been in a rut. Yes, he hasn't eclipsed 20 points, fantasy points, or anything along those lines yet. Stay cool. Stay calm. It's coming. I'm telling you, the target share is there. He's fine. Breece is going to be fine. Braylon Allen's going to be decent in terms of he's a startable asset. And I think Aaron Rodgers is only going to continue to improve. So no, I'm not freaking out yet.
All right. Sounds good, Frankie. All right. Hey, man, let's do a little Thursday night preview. We got a Thursday night game tomorrow. What do we got? What do we have going on for Thursday, Frankie?
Yeah, we do, man. And John, real quick, for the Thursday night game, right? So the game itself, before we dive in, the game itself is the Buccaneers 3-1 at that of the Atlanta Falcons 2-2. Before we dive in, guys, John, and I know we talked about this a little bit. We just want to do basically a brief moment of silence with the game being in that of Atlanta, with obviously the Buccaneers also being a part of this. Guys, the U.S. was hit with an insane hurricane. And so I have family that live in Tampa that were severely affected. I also have a family that live in Atlanta. And so guys, obviously we're talking about fantasy football, and it's obviously we try to make this fun and as entertaining and as lighthearted as possible. But when real shit kind of hits like this, it kind of, you want to make sure that people realize that we're here for you. We're thinking of you and we're praying for you and we're donating where we can and things like that. So just wanted to take a brief minute, thoughts and prayers to all of those affected by Hurricane Helene in Florida and Tennessee and in Georgia and in North Carolina and Nashville. So brief minute, just really want to collect thoughts and just take a moment of silence, guys. Thanks for that, John. Sorry, just wanted to make sure because this is a big deal, and especially when we're talking about two teams that are in the mix of all the mess. Like that's first and foremost, right? We're humans, so we're thinking of you guys and praying for you. So with that being said, let's talk about the Thursday night game, right? So as I mentioned, Bucks 3-1 at the Falcons 2-2. What's going on here, man? Well, shit, I'll tell you what. Baker's got them Bucks feeling nice. Baker's cooking up some fucking pies, baby, and he's baking up some beautiful, I was going to say ham sandwiches. You can't bake a ham sandwich, but he can make one. I'll tell you what, Baker and the Bucks are thriving. Who I would start from a fantasy perspective, John? Bucky Irving and Rachaad White. Can you fire them both up? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. Both of them are actually performing decent. Rachaad White's actually a step maybe behind Bucky Irving at this point in time, certainly in the rushing attack. Obviously, we've seen him be a little bit more in tune with some of the receiving game. But hey, man, both averaged 4.9 yards a carry, except Bucky got the touchdown. Both had 10 rushes for 49 yards, right? So absolutely, in this type of game, you can fire up both, especially with the bye weeks happening. If you have Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Saquon Barkley, right? Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, look to Bucky Irving as somebody who can potentially salvage that running back spot for you. John, and of course, you're firing up the receivers, man. You're firing up Godwin, firing up Mike Evans. I mean, they might be the two most electric receivers right now in the NFL. And they're on the same team outside of your boy Nico Collins, right? So I mean, they're phenomenal. And so for me, man, I'm firing up both of those guys. And here's the kicker for the Buccaneers. I'm firing up Baker Mayfield in a one quarterback league. It's
hell yeah,
crazy
you are
to even say that, but damn it, I am, baby.
Let's go.
So yeah,
love Baker.
I'm all about it, man. So that's the Bucks, guys. Pretty status quo. John, for the Falcons, man, you're gonna fire up Bijan. You're gonna fire up Drake London. Here's what's interesting. If you need a flex piece or if you need another RB2, man, you could look at Algier potentially as an RB2. And here's why. Because the last game that they played, John, he averaged 4.6 yards a carry compared to Bijan's 1.9. Tyler Algier is slightly outplaying Bijan when he's getting the rock. That's kind of crazy. So for me, man, I definitely think Algier has some standalone value if you need another backfill piece for your running back room. And here's the other thing. I think Darnell Mooney's for real. I think Darnell Mooney is a legitimate backup flex piece for you that if you need in a deeper league, you're looking to somebody to start, maybe you're in a double flex or somebody like that, or a league like that. Shit, man, I think you actually have some value there within Darnell Mooney. And I definitely think you fire up Pitts. I know Pitts had a shit week. I get it. I hear you. It's rough. But I think that as a tight end, the tight end landscape as a whole has been abysmal. To make you feel better if you're a Pitts owner, just, hey, at least you're not Johnny with a Mark Andrews owner. So if you're feeling bad about yourself, just remember, you're not Johnny. So it's okay. We're all good. So
everybody needs to do that. Anytime you're feeling bad, I just want you all to remember, you're not me, so you're fine.
You're good.
It's all good. You're going to be fine. I'll take that for you. Yeah.
I'll take it off of your plate.
What's even worse, I have the stack.
It's so gross. I feel so bad for you. I do.
Well, it's not really a stack. It's just kind of what's an open face sandwich called? Is that like a New York something? What is that called?
I don't know. Let's name it. Let's call it the Andrew. The Mandrews.
It's the Mandrews.
The Mandrews.
Mandrews sandwich. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Oh, wow. Look at you. Patting that shit, John. The Mandrews. Oh, what are you having? I'm having a sandwich? No, I'm having a Mandrew. A Mandrew.
Oh, Manwich is it's got to be trademarked. Yeah. Now we're not going to be monetized on YouTube.
Oh, fuck. There we go. Damn it.
But you have to start Kyle Pitts if you got him, right?
Got to fire him up if you got him.
Who are you going to stream instead? I guess is the question.
Yeah. Not too many. So, John, we're also going to look at a bet, guys. And before we get to the bet, again, John mentioned our awesome partnership with that of Bet Stamp and Sign Up Expert, guys. This, again, opens up an awesome opportunity for you to join some of your favorite sports books that you are not a part of yet. So head over to our dedicated page at signupexpert.com/frankly to explore your selection. You'll understand what I got there, right? You guys are all going there with me. Selection of sports books tailored to your region, each with unique offerings, right? So if you're ready to take your sports betting to the next level, like John and I have been, and you're ready to put $20 down on a bet and maybe get you a bonus bet back, head on over to signupexpert.com/frankly to get your sports book and offer. So guys, with that particular bet, I'm looking at a prop again this week. So with this prop, we're going to be checking out Chris Godwin. John, right now you can get the over for his receiving yards is 60.5. Just to give you guys some insight as to what that means, he has hit that overage in 3 out of 4 games this year already. He's already averaging over 80, just about 80 yards receiving a game. And just another fun fact, he's being targeted so often, especially for touchdowns and things like that. Guys, he's already scored 3 times this year as well. So for me, man, knowing the target share is there, knowing that he already has eclipsed this threshold at least 3 times, 75% of the year so far, I'm rolling with Chris Godwin over 60.5 yards receiving.
I love it, man. Let's do it. I'm putting it in. Let's all put it in, guys.
Put it on in.
Signupexpert.com/frankly, and let's get that prop bet in. 60.5 yards for Chris Godwin. The over. Love it, baby. All right, Frankie, let's get to our hit it's and quit it's, baby. Let's go. All right, man. Your first hit it, your first start of the week. Again, we kind of do like a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 type situation. Frankie, who are we looking at here with your start of the week?
So, John, one of my start of the week here, and you know what's funny? We were talking about it, like we were getting a little high and crazy up here. And for those like just listening and not viewing, we're putting our hands up, going a little crazy, right? And then you got to bring it back, though. You got to, John, right here. This is where we live.
Oh,
right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. This is where we live. We playing in some hitch, right? So, dude, here we go. Start of the week, hit it of the week. MPJ, Michael Pittman Jr. at that of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If Joe Flacco plays, we're all going wacko for Flacco, baby. This dude is letting it rip. And Michael Pittman Jr. had 9 targets, 6 receptions, finally over that 113 mark for terms of receiving yards. In addition, the Jacksonville Jaguars couldn't stop and can't stop anybody they're playing against. I think MPJ could have another big game. And guys, remember, this is a huge divisional game. Jacksonville cannot drop to 0-5, which means that they're going to try to be like absolutely, obviously winning the game. Who isn't playing to win, right? No shit. But my thing is Michael Pittman Jr., the game script could be super positive for him in addition to just having a good matchup. So for me, man, I'm locking in Michael Pittman Jr. and rocking it out.
My first hit it, I guess you can consider this my tier 1 here. My first hit it, my start of the week, it's going to be George Kittle, tight end of the San Francisco 49ers versus Arizona. I love this, man. 49ers at home, divisional game. They're going to roll here, guys. George Kittle is the tight end 2 on the season currently in half PPR. He's got 2 touchdowns in the last 3 games played. Debo still banged up. Ayuk completely underperforming to my chagrin. I have a lot of Brandon Ayuk. So I think Debo's going to eat here, man. Arizona, their defense is terrible. I mean, it just is. That I think we can all agree on. Arizona's defense is terrible. They have 0 pass rush. Brock Purdy's going to be able to throw the ball. He's going to get good looks. And the Arizona Cardinals are notoriously the worst team against the tight end. You throw George Kittle in there, Kittle just destroys the Cardinals every time. So this week, man, especially because of the Debo Samuel being banged up and Brandon Ayuk just not doing well right now, man. Fire up George Kittle. Let it roll.
Let it roll. John, how crazy is the Brandon Ayuk thing, by the way? Like, just like... And did you catch that shit going on at practice to where it was a walkthrough or something like that last week? And he ended up having on red shorts or something, and they were supposed to be wearing black shorts, and him and like Shanahan basically told him to go in and change, and Ayuk lost it. And dude, I'm just telling you, there's something up there. There's something up.
It's one of those power struggles. You see it all the time, even though the guy's the most talented guy in the world, which he is extremely talented. They're bullying each other. I mean, that's kind of what happened here. They played this psychological game in the offseason. It hurt Ayuk ultimately in his performance this week. It hurt the team, quite honestly. And Kyle Shanahan knows that, and he's pissed. And
Yep.
I think he's going to push back a little bit and fuck with him too. Go put on the right shorts, man. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much we're paying you. So it's not good, though. It's not good for the team, man.
It's not good, dude. But I'll tell you what is going to be good is going to be this next hit it with my number 2 coming up. And it is Mr. Lock It Up himself and Tyler Lockett playing that of the New York Giants. Guys, this is a bit of a stretch, right? We know we have DK there. We know we have Jackson Smith and Jigba. We know we have Noah Fant. We know we have Charbonnet and Anna Walker. So Tyler Lockett definitely is in the mix of that third fiddle, especially from a receiver perspective. It doesn't matter. The reason being is because with all of the buys happening this week, maybe you have some of the Eagles receivers that are banged up. Maybe you have Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams, and you need a steady floor guy. Look no further for Tyler Lockett. John, he has had 17 targets in the last 2 weeks, and he only has one game this year, one game below 7 targets. So for me, again, I'm looking at this by no means as a ceiling play. I'm looking at this as, hey, if you have a bye week, plug this guy in and know you're not going to you have a higher propensity not to lose as much plugging in Tyler Lockett versus more of a high flyer guy. So I'm locking in Lockett as another hit it this week.
All right, man. I'm gonna go to the Steel City in this one here. I know my brother's gonna give me shit. I've been giving the Steelers a lot of love this year. Hey, I'll give it where it's due. Najee Harris, running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Dallas Cowboys. All right, listen, the Dallas Cowboys, we talked about it last week. They are a run funnel defense. You can run on this team. Now, I know Singletary had a rough week last week, and that's fine. But you can this year. They are going to be able to run the ball. Dallas's defense, all right, they're not the defense you think it is right now. Okay, it is a run funnel, but they're also missing. Micah Parsons is probably going to be missing this week, and DeMarcus Lawrence is definitely going to be missing this week. So yeah, I mean the defense. 2 of their star players are not on the defense right now, so I think that bodes well. Jaylen Warren's going to be out with a knee issue. Cordell Patterson was banged up as well. This could be Najee alone in this backfield, and the Steelers have to run the ball. Now, here's the other thing that's nice. With Jaylen Warren out, with Patterson banged up, Najee Harris, 5 and 6 targets over the past 2 games.
That's awesome.
That's very unusual for Najee Harris, but beautiful. If he can look for more targets against Dallas and get around that range, I think he's going to be perfect for you. And if you're missing Tony Pollard and Saquon and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, you got to plug Najee in. But feel good about it this week, guys. I love it.
John, and this could we start seeing maybe the old Najee from rookie year? Obviously not to that degree of what Big Ben was checking down at. I understand that was an anomaly, but like, could we start seeing a couple hints of that? That would be fun. That would really be fun for Najee owners.
Justin Fields is playing better. He's throwing the ball a little more. He's getting a little more confidence. So it could
very well be. John, my last hit it, my start here my third start here is going to be Courtland Sutton against that of Vegas. This is by no means a guaranteed start. This is risky. This makes me uncomfortable. But here's the deal. Courtland Sutton is figuring it out with Bo Nix, right? Bo Nix is a rookie quarterback. He's truly, John, the only receiver that is worth a damn on this team at this point in time. I mean, literally, I feel like it's Courtland Sutton and then there's everybody else. And so for me, man, he's had back-to-back double-digit fantasy point weeks. The game script could be awesome, again, playing Vegas. With Denver's defense being super legit, Vegas's offense not really firing on all cylinders. Maybe Devontae plays, maybe he doesn't. Check it, man. I'm firing up Courtland Sutton in that flex position, and I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling okay.
My last hit it this week, guys. This is a guy during draft season. We told you who is that guy at the end of your draft, just like the Nico Collins of last year that you pick up and see if you can, as a flyer pick. I'm talking about Dontayvion Wicks, wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. All right, there's a couple of reasons why, and I know after Jordan Love got hurt, everybody dropped him. I did. Pick him back up. Make sure he's back on your roster. This is a guy that you can play this week, guys, and feel pretty good about. Christian Watson is going to be out. He's likely to even be put on IR potentially, but he's going to be out with a high ankle sprain. 13 targets for Dontayvion Wicks in his stead. Love that. From Jordan Love, these are good targets, man. I know the beginning of the game was rough. Jordan Love was throwing to a lot of Minnesota Vikings in the beginning, but let me tell you something. He figured it out, man. I mean, he had, over 350 yards passing and a couple of touchdowns, and it seemed like everybody was scoring on that team. Dontayvion Wicks was definitely a recipient of that. They're playing against the Rams. The Rams defense is one of those defense. The Cardinals, the Rams, you can do pretty much anything on them right now. They've been decimated with injury and they're just not playing well. So you can pretty much do anything you want. Very porous. They give up yards to the receiver. So I really see with Jordan Love now actually healthy, good. He looked great after he got everything going. I want Dontayvion Wicks. He seems to be the beneficiary to me for Christian Watson being out, just in the X's and O's as things line up. Now, Jaden Reed, of course, play all these guys. I think you could start Reed, you can start Dubs, start them all. I mean, this is going to be a good week for these guys for sure. But I think Wicks is going to be that guy like Christian Watson in the corner of the end zone that they look for. So start Dontayvion Wicks this week, guys. All right, Frankie, who are you quitting this week? Who is not going to be on your starting lineup?
John, my quit of the week is definitely going to be this shit stain, Zamir White for the Vegas Raiders playing at Denver. John, here's the deal. The dude is completely underperformed, and this has been insanely frustrating for Zamir White owners because there's no reason by the way that he played last year and with the offense that they have this year that he shouldn't be performing better. And I think it's a talent issue. I think it's real because you're seeing Madison get in there and he's just running hard. He's getting the touchdowns. Yes, he's getting more goal line work than that of Zamir. I get that it's, that would happen then innately. So, okay, fine. But Zamir White losing time to Madison, right? They came out and said that. He had 17 carries against the Browns for only 50 yards. That is not good. And he lost a fumble as well. So for me, man, playing against a good defense in Mile High, in a divisional game, I'm sitting Zamir White this week.
You don't want to start the running back 56 on the year, man?
What a sack of shit. I can't even believe this guy.
Zamir White has not scored more than 5 points all season in a half-point PPR.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Buy low, sell high. Let me tell you. Just kidding.
I ain't buying shit, man. All right. First of all, buy low, buy candidate right now. It's Davante Adams, guys.
Definitely.
It's Davante Adams. He missed last week. I don't know if he's going to play this week. He's still a little banged up. He may be on a different team in the next few weeks. If he goes to the damn Kansas City Chiefs, come on now.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
I do too.
As a football fan, could you imagine that?
Patrick Mahomes has never had an alpha big motherfucker in the back of the end zone. Never. He's never had this.
I want to see it so bad.
Please, God, give it to me. Give it. I'm going to go get him this week, guys. Let's go try to get Davante Adams this week and see if he goes to the Chiefs.
John, it's like that hilarious old school. Like if you guys are, for those listening and watching, you see YouTube stuff that pops up all the time. But there's this one thing to where this guy asked this girl, "Hey, like, do you want a drink?" She goes, "No, because of my legs." And he goes, "Oh, what happens with your legs? Do they get hurt?" And she goes, "No, they spread." So like, I'm just thinking about hey, you want to get just thinking about the Chiefs and the fucking getting Davante Adams. That's exactly how I would feel as an NFL fan. Are you kidding me?
Like, I would spread my legs immediately
that would be,
if I see Davante Adams.
Are you serious? God, I'd be spreading those cheeks.
All right. You digress. Let's get back here.
We're coming back.
Yeah. My first quit it, guys. We're going to Cincinnati, unfortunately, here. It's going to be Zack Moss, a running back for Cincinnati Bengals. They're playing at home against the Baltimore Ravens. I talked about Dallas being a run funnel. Baltimore, it's just a team you can't run on, man. I mean, these guys are just very, very good. Very difficult to run on the Baltimore D. The other issue here I have with Zack Moss, it's a 60-40 split as far as snaps go with Chase Brown. I mean, this is truly, truly a split here. Touches, It's not a 50-50 split. It's not a 60-40 split. 19 touches for Zack Moss, 17 touches for Chase Brown. So when you're looking at splitting time nearly 50-50, playing against the Baltimore Ravens, I don't like it, guys. I'm going to try to find another way. I know it's difficult. We've got injuries. We've got bye weeks. The running back landscape is so difficult right now. But if you can find another option besides Zack Moss, I would look for it, guys.
John, my last quit it here is actually going to be Carson Steele and all the running backs for that of Kansas City right now versus New Orleans. The reason being is because I actually like Kareem Hunt. I'm not opposed to firing up Kareem Hunt, but the issue is we just don't know what the distribution is going to be. Like, it could be Samaje Perine, it could be Kareem, CEH. There's talks of him potentially starting to come back. So, and also, as I mentioned, Carson Steele. So, guys, it just is tough. Carson Steele also, didn't look great last game. He had 6 rushing yards. He had on 2 carries. He lost a fumble, conceded everything else then to Kareem. And so for me, man, I'm sitting. Everybody, maybe you can fire up Kareem if you're feeling real kind of frisky a little bit. But for the most part, man, I'm sitting the Kansas City running backs against New Orleans this week.
I agree with you with that. I know Carson Steele had the start. He fumbled. I think he fumbled in the red zone, right? Fumbled near the goal line. They pulled him immediately. He didn't play really the rest of the game. So that's a rookie thing. That's a thing Andy Reid is saying. You fumble, you fuck up, you fuck with me. You fuck on me.
You fuck
I
on
fuck
me?
on you. Yeah. So that's what Andy Reid did. But he could get the start again, man. I mean, they could say, all right, did you figure out what you did wrong? Now get back in there and fix it. So he could play, but they're going to run Kareem Hunt. They ran him a lot. They love him. They're going to run him. They're going to have Samaje Perine in there on third downs as well. It is very muddy. I know the landscape's rough, but yeah, you're not going to have any idea what's going to happen with these guys. I'm with you on that, buddy. All right, my last quitted here is going to be Jaylen Waddle. We just talked about the issues with Tyreek Hill. You think Tyreek Hill has issues? Jaylen Waddle has issues right now, guys. He was tough to put in anyway, even with Tua in there. You were just hoping that he would, get a touchdown. Now, with this quarterback play, guys, you just can't do it, I don't think. Jaylen Waddle's playing at New England. Very good, very stout defense, very stingy to wide receivers. Right now, Jaylen Waddle's the wide receiver 50 right now. 50. QB situation, complete and total fucking disarray. We know that. Single digits points in the last 3 games, 0 touchdowns this year. I just don't see this being the week that Jaylen Waddle turns it around, guys. I would look for other options. I would look for other guys like the Dontayvion Wicks and some of these lower tier. Don't look at just the name of Jaylen Waddle. Look what's going on. So look on the waiver wire. It's a perfect person that you can stream guys and take him out and put him in your bench. All right, Frankie, that is the episode for the day. That is our hit it's and quit it's for week 5. Thank you so much, everybody. Don't forget, follow us, social media. We're everywhere, guys. Frankly, fantasy football. In fact, you probably can't even open up Instagram without one of our videos
That's
popping
right
up on your screen. So I love that. And make sure you sub up on YouTube, guys, at Frankly Fantasy Football. Frankie, what do we have coming up for everybody?
Guys, do not forget Fridays with Frankie dropping on Friday. Again, I was able to give you guys some really good insight heading into this week. Was able to kind of hit on the Devontae Adams stuff, the Evan Ingram, and a few other things. So definitely stay tuned. Fridays with Frankie dropping. They're going to be 5 things you need to know before the weekend. Takes literally 60 seconds, and you'll see it on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, so on and so forth, YouTube, etc. The other thing is, guys, tune in next week. We will be diving into week 6. We're going to do some takeaways from week 5, dive into news and notes, and of course, we're going to get into the Thursday night preview with our hit it's and quit it's, baby.
All right. Don't forget, please support our sponsor at signupexpert.com/frankly. Take advantage of some bets, guys. Let's do it, man. Let's go into week 5. Forget about week 4, and let's put on our game faces and get this shit done. May the fantasy gods smile upon you. Bye.